Listen, if this video flops, at least I ate good, okay? What I ordered is Frank's Burgers burger. We have some Pepsi, which I ordered regular Pepsi, zero sugar, but I didn't order lime flavored. They gave me lime flavored one, which is fine. I guess they don't sell soda in like a ice cup. They just give you original version, which is also fine, but I don't like drinking it from the can because it's much more carbonated this way, and I hate when the drink is way too carbonated. So maybe I'll just open it right now so it can lose its bubbles a little bit. Okay. Very minimalistic packaging, which I like. And I saw on TikTok that Frank's Burger had burgers with pineapples in it, which is like a Hawaiian bacon cheese burger, which, like I said before, comes with a pineapple in it. And I love pineapple on pizza. I feel like pineapple goes really well with junk food. I like this a little bit of taste of sweetness in it, and I just needed to try a burger with a pineapple in it. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. It smells so good. Okay, we have some fries first of all. Then we have a burger, and we have two ketchups. Maybe I should like get a plate because I don't want to put it all on the table. Wait a second, I'm gonna get a plate. I'm also gonna get a straw. How am I going to get it? Okay. This is what happens when you live in a very small, tiny space. Okay, let's put the straw in my lime flavored cola. Should I try it first? Let's try it. To be honest, I can't really taste lime. It's not that pronounced, but still. Hi everyone, this is Hope17 and welcome to my channel, and today we're going to just have a very chill and relaxed video together. If you are hungry or if you just sat to eat, you are welcome to join me. Let's eat and chat. And what I'm going to be talking about today as I pour my ketchup in is why I chose Ewha Womans University. Out of all the universities out there in Korea, why I chose this university in particular, which if you don't know me and it's your first time in my channel, welcome. Please stay, subscribe, like this video so I know that you're interested in what I'm doing. And if you don't know me, I'm an international student at Ewha Womans University, which is a university located in Seoul, South Korea. I'm entering my sophomore year, so I'm entering my second year, starting from this fall semester. My university journey is kind of complicated, which I feel like it is for a lot of people. So I thought it would be interesting to talk to you about why I chose Ewha specifically and what other universities I considered. I think I'm gonna turn on my AC because we're in the middle of the summer in Korea, and summers in Korea are no joke, and the rain has stopped recently, thank God, but that means that the heat wave is back and you can't survive without air conditioner. So I'm gonna turn it on. Let's eat our food first because it's gonna get cold with the AC. I already know. Okay, let's try. Just simple regular fries, nothing special. It's already a bit cold, but that's okay. Okay, let's see how it looks first of all. Ooh, that's a big burger. I'm gonna keep it in the wrapper, but I'm gonna see what's inside. So I'll have lettuce, tomato, a patty, pineapple, and bacon. That's the pineapple. And yeah, I'm usually not a big fan of bacons in the burger itself because I don't remember which, maybe it was a Burger King or something. I ordered a burger with the bacon in it and they didn't fry bacon all the way, and it was kind of like borderline raw. and I feel like I have trauma from that experience, which I just really like when the bacon is deeply fried. And this one seems pretty decently fried, so I feel like it's be fine. It's very juicy. I already feel the grease in my hands. Okay. You know what? It tastes exactly how I thought it would taste. The pineapple is not too sweet, like I don't feel a lot of sweetness from the pineapple, but the meat itself, like the meat patty, is really good. One of the reasons why I like Frank Burgers out of all the other franchises is because they have the most like homemade feel to their burgers in comparison to like McDonald's or Burger King, or like, it feels like somebody just made it at home. Like it feels very fresh. I wonder if I can eat it without the wrapper, but it's just so juicy. Look at this, like it, oh my god. The burger also has some onions in it, but they're very deeply fried, so you don't taste that crisp onion, which I usually hate onions in my burgers because they don't fry them well enough, and sometimes they just put raw onion slice in your burger, which is horrendous in my opinion. But this one, they fried the onion really well, which tastes really good. Now, if you are someone who wants to study in Korea and browsing all the options, you probably already have like a list of schools that you want to apply for and you want to study for. The usual thing is that people would choose like 3 or more universities to apply for, and like your top school, like your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, right? That wasn't really the case for me. When I applied for university, I applied only for Ewha, and I didn't apply for any other university. And I had a little bit of reasoning behind that, okay? Stay with me. My situation is this. I've already been living in Korea before I started studying at Ewha, and I'm not on a student visa. I'm on a resident visa because I am ethnically Korean. And I've been living here for a couple of years, and I know that my future is in Korea. I knew that in order for me to build a good life and good foundation in Korea, I need to have a higher education, which of course you can work and find a good job without a college degree. Very controversial topic, but it is possible. But I just really wanted to experience the university life that I was deprived of, because I couldn't get a chance to study after I graduated from high school. So it was only logical for me to finish and get a college degree in Korea, because I do plan on staying here long term and working here. And I just started browsing, and I've been browsing Korean universities ever since I was like 18 and 19, so I know a lot about various different universities that are out there. And if you have the most basic knowledge of Korean universities, you know that the top 3 schools in Korea are called so-called SKY schools, which is the abbreviation of the first letters of each school, which is S for Seoul University, Seoul National University, K for Korea University, and Y is for Yonsei University. These 3 schools consistently like top rated schools in Korea, and if you graduate from one of those schools, a big plus in the hiring process after you graduate, right? So in trying to consider my options, first of all, Seoul National University, searching through the programs, that was like my main purpose behind choosing university, which if you know already what major you want to major in, like what department you want to major in, the choice of picking university is a little bit easier because you choose a major and then you start searching which university specialize better in that major. When I start searching for Seoul National University, it just didn't really interest me at all. I didn't really care about the ratings that much because I'm not very like career focused person, like, oh, I want to get like a top school and I want to get like a top company, like work at Samsung for like until I die. Like that's not the type of person I am. So it didn't really matter to me that Seoul is like the top school. I just looked at the vibes and I look at the majors, and it just didn't really interest me. Korea University was kind of like I considered for a while, but then they didn't really have a lot of scholarships available, and I also didn't like the dormitory at Korea University, and dormitory was very important for me because I wanted to live at the dormitory in Seoul. Now, Yonsei University was a school that I considered seriously for quite a while. Ewha University is a very popular destination for a lot of international students because it is very internationally focused out of all the universities in the top 3 schools and also out of all the universities in Korea. Me, I know Korean because I learned Korean ever since coming to Korea. Right now my level is like topic level 3, I would say. No matter how good your Korean is, studying in Korea is very hard. Studying in any foreign language that is not yours is hard in my opinion, but for me, I learned English to a native level, so for me studying in English is not hard at all. Like, it feels like studying in my own native language, but I knew that if I had to study in Korean, it would be double the work for me. And that is something that not a lot of students consider before coming to Korea, is that you will have to study in Korean if your major is in Korean. You have to study in the Korean language, and even if you have like a 6 level of topic, you still will struggle a little bit because academic Korean is on another level, okay? So you will have to do double the work. If you have to translate the material first and understand what the professor is saying, and then you'll have to learn the material after translating it. You know, like, it's a lot of work, okay? And I knew that I wanted a major that's going to be completely in English. That way I would find studying in university enjoyable, more enjoyable than it would be if I were to study in Korea. So Ewha University has an entire separate college, which there's completely education in English, and it's called Underwood College. And I'm sure if you are a student interested in studying Korea, you probably heard about it quite a lot. And I considered applying to that college, but then I started to dig a little bit deeper and I realized that it's very expensive. When applying for different universities, you have to submit like $150 for the application fee, and you have to prepare a different set of documents for each school in Korea. So it was kind of starting to get a little bit expensive when I started like actually doing the applications. And at Yonsei, if you want to apply for an English-led major, you have to submit an English certificate, which they only accept TOEFL or IELTS, which are very expensive to get in Korea and just in general, but it's very expensive. It's like 300,000 won, which I was like, I do not want to take that test just to get accepted and not be guaranteed a scholarship or any sort of like financial aid. So Yonsei was just a very expensive school. So because I knew my chances, and I know that I probably wouldn't get a scholarship at Yonsei, so I was like, I can't pay tuition at that school. I don't want to pay that much money just to apply for that school, even though I know that I probably won't get a scholarship and probably just have to reject the application. So I was like, you know what, let me just skip Yonsei and just focus on other schools. Of course, I considered other options as well, and because I was living in Incheon at the time, which is a city where the airport is located in, it's like an hour and a half ride from Seoul, which is very close to Seoul. I wanted a university that is either located at Incheon or Seoul, so I wouldn't have to be far from my family and friends and just in general what I'm comfortable with. So I started to consider other universities, but it was always like, oh, this university doesn't really have any majors that I'm interested in. This university doesn't really have good scholarship opportunities. This university doesn't have a good like dormitory situation. This university like requires documents that I'm not ready to submit. So every pathway led me to Ewha, which is my university, and Ewha just met my requirements at the perfect level. Like, everything that I wanted, that school had. And reasons why I chose Ewha: first of all, I really liked the major that I was interested in, which was international studies. I was really interested in the major. First of all, it was completely an English program, second of all, and third of all, I really like the dormitory, which Ewha has an amazing dormitory that is relatively newer than all the other dormitories that I've seen throughout Korea. And in my humble opinion, Ewha has like the best dormitory in like any other university in Korea, which is E-House. It was built in 2016. And also what I liked about the admission process to Ewha is that it was relatively easy to apply to Ewha than it was to other universities, in that Ewha also accepted English language certificates, but instead of submitting like TOEFL or IELTS, I submitted this one, which is much cheaper, and it was like a Korean equivalent of TOEFL, and Ewha had no trouble accepting that certificate. So I was like, I can just save myself $300 and just apply with this one to Ewha. And also another thing that I liked is that Ewha doesn't require you to submit a bank balance statement of 20 million won, which is like a big barrier for a lot of students who may struggle financially and who just don't have like 20 million won like laying in their savings account, right, or in their parents' savings account. In my understanding, this certificate, it's needed for immigration purposes in order for the immigration to look at your financial statement and be like, oh yeah, like this student can survive while studying in Korea while having these savings, and we can grant them a student visa so they can enter Korea and actually like study, right? So usually it's just needed in order to get the student visa, but because I didn't need to get a student visa and I already have a resident visa, I emailed the school and I was like, do I actually need to submit this bank balance statement because I don't need to apply for a student visa? And they were like, no, you don't need to submit that. And I was like, great. So I didn't need to submit bank balance statement, and I didn't need to submit an expensive ass exam like TOEFL or IELTS. So all my girlies who are already residing in Korea and have other visa, like not a student visa but a resident visa, if you're that type of girly, and I know maybe some of them are watching me right now, this is your chance to apply to Ewha Womans University. Also, another thing, of course, the most important thing that I liked about Ewha is that it had a lot of great scholarships in school. So I'm not talking about GKS, which is Global Korea Scholarship. No, I'm talking about scholarships that are provided by Ewha, the school itself, to the students. Let me just take one more bite. Okay, just one more bite. Oh, look at this tomato. Oh my god. I also, even though it does have a tomato in it, I usually also don't like when tomatoes are in burgers, but this particular burger, they like cooked everything in it. So the tomato is cooked, the onion is cooked, the bacon is cooked really well. That's why it works so good in this burger. When you just order a burger from like Burger King or McDonald's, and the tomato is raw, the bacon is raw, the onion is raw, and you're like, what am I eating right now? The things that I love about my school is that, first of all, it is a women's university, okay? It's in the name, Ewha Womans University. It is an all-women's university. Now, if you don't have those types of organizations in your home country, you probably feel like, what? University just for girls? But yes, it is very common in Korea. Distinction between genders in education starts from high school, I would say. Like elementary school, middle school, it's very popular to be co-educational, like boys and girls. But starting from high school, it's very common to be all girls high school and all boys high school. And also when it comes to universities, there are several women's universities in Korea. It all comes back to history and women's education in Korea, and Ewha was the first official educational institution for girls, which women couldn't really get education in Korea. I feel like it's common for not just Korea but any other country, but the matter of fact is that Ewha was the first school for girls and it was the first university for girls, and I highly recommend you to actually search up the history behind your university if you're searching to apply for Korea, because that can explain a lot of the rules that your school implements. Ewha has this amazing, I wouldn't say it's a gallery, it's like an archive of all the historical landmarks that our school went through. It's located on our campus and it's free to visit. If you're already a student at Ewha, or if you're living in Korea and if you want to learn more about that, please visit Ewha archives to learn more about the history of our school, because I feel like it's very interesting. And if you want to study at Ewha, it's very important to know the history behind it. In that way, you can understand why the things the way that they are in our school. Okay, it'll be more it will make sense after learning the history behind it all. Ewha is an all-women's university, so it doesn't accept applications from male students, but that only applies to typical undergraduate or graduate students. If you're an international student who want to do an exchange program or a summer college, you can apply if you are male, right? Ewha does allow applications from male international students, which it's sort of a really questionable thing. Why is that even a thing? But I guess like profits are profits, right? Like money is money. Also, a lot of people always comment under my videos is like, oh, does Ewha have like male professors or only just women professors? Like, guys, no. Ewha has a lot of male professors and like female professors. Yes, I personally love that I'm studying at Ewha Womans University, that it's Seoul Women's University. I consider my school to be my little like safe haven where I go in, and as soon as I'm on the grounds of my campus, I feel at peace, I feel safe, I feel supported, I feel just in harmony. And as soon as I like go outside of my campus, I feel like I'm back at the real world, that everything's just annoying. I heard some students say that, oh, Ewha is kind of like boring because like there's no boys around, which I feel like is very old fashioned and like kind of like misogynist stereotype that kind of makes sense in my mind. Is that, you know, if you see how society treats boys and girls when they're children, is that girls are usually always praised for being quiet, for being modest, for being like studious, whereas boys are always praised for being assertive, for being loud, for being funny. So it's not really that surprising that boys grow up to be more outgoing and more like adventurous and more loud and funny, and girls grow up to be more reserved in their nature. Suddenly, I'm already full. I was so hungry while I waited for my delivery, and I munched on some leftover chips that I had. Maybe that like interfered with my appetite. The one thing that is kind of sad is that Frank burgers don't really have chicken nuggets in it. They have other things. They have like chicken wings, onion rings, cheese sticks, but they don't have chicken nuggets. One of the other things that I really liked about our school is its location, right? That's probably something that you don't really consider before applying to universities, especially if you've never been to Korea before. If you've never been to Seoul before and you don't know like where everything is located, right? It's kind of like really vague for you to understand where the school is located and is it a good location. Now, our school is located in, I personally love the location because it's right in the middle of the city. So we're very close to the subway station, and this subway station goes to practically any place in Seoul. Like, it's a very busy subway station, but it's very versatile. There's a lot of activities to do around our campus. It's very lively. Just check the location very carefully. But one thing that I want you guys to know is that if you don't plan to live in the dormitory, and if you want to live outside of the campus, but you still want to be like relatively close to campus in order to not spend too much time on commuting, maybe Ewha is the wrong choice, because if you don't have a big budget, right? Because the area out around our university is very, very expensive. I recently saw an article that said that area around Ewha Womans University, the rent is like the highest than in any other area of university in Korea. Usually, right? Usually, university areas are known to be a little bit cheaper because there's a lot of university students renting apartments, and a lot of students just don't have enough money to like pay a big deposit or pay big monthly rent. So usually area around campuses are cheaper, but not around Ewha, not around Ewha or Yonsei, okay? It's like one of the most expensive areas around universities, and if you don't have a big budget, trying to find an apartment around Ewha will be very troublesome if you don't have a big budget. And also even like trying to find a good goshwon, they're all so expensive. So that is something that I didn't know and I didn't really consider. But if you're just like staying at the dormitory for the entirety of your 4 years, you're going to be fine. But yes, that's like one of the facts that is kind of concerning. I really love our campus and how it looks. A lot of people find it really funny, not the students, but like my friends outside of school and my relative, if they come to visit me, and I just start gushing like about the architecture of our school and how beautiful my campus is. They always find it funny, and they're like, did you chose the school just because you like the campus or what? And I was like, you know what, I feel like that was like a big part of why I chose Ewha, because I just love how our school looks. It's very, very beautiful, to the point where it's like a top destination for tourists who come to visit Seoul, and they're like, okay, if we're traveling to Korea, we must visit Ewha Womans University because it's really pretty. And it is. It's so pretty. and I see tourists like every day at our campus, like weekends, weekdays. I see them every day, like going around our campus and taking pictures because it's just that beautiful, guys. Okay, but also keep in mind that our university is on the hill, to hike a lot if you want to go from one building to another. Okay, and of course our school has like a free shuttle bus that goes like every 5-10 minutes, but it's very small, it's very busy, there's always a lot of people in the bus, and you have to like plan really carefully in order to get to that bus. So most of the time students just have to hike in order to get there. So if you're not a fan of hiking, probably think carefully of how your campus is structured, because a lot of university campuses in Korea, you have to hike in that campus. Like they're usually built on a hill, so maybe that's something that you should check as well. That's like the top points that I wanted to discuss on why I chose Ewha Womans University specifically. I love every second of my time that I spend at Ewha, and of course there are a lot of cons. I feel like every school has negative sides to it. No university is perfect, like it's still like an educational institution, right? I'm not trying to persuade you to apply to Ewha only. I feel like always trust your gut and always trust different sources of information, right? Don't just rely on this one video. Try to be a rational person and decide for yourself like what is going to be the best for you, right? For me personally, Ewha was the best choice. That's why I chose this university. I feel like I said everything that I wanted to say. If you're future Ewha students, I wish you all the luck. If you enjoyed this video, I definitely did. It's been a while since I actually like sit down and film a video and talk to you guys. I didn't finish my burger, but I feel like I'm gonna finish it in a minute. Please leave a like because it helps my channel a lot, and it also shows to you that you're interested in this type of content, and I'm gonna do more of that. And if you're new and you like my channel, like my video, please subscribe. This also motivates me to film more videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.